And we're back with the Volvo V60, looking to finish up all the mechanical repairs, so that way we have a reliable daily driver for somebody. But of course we had another snowstorm, so we have to dig her out before we get to working on her. I'm gonna call that good enough for now. I'm gonna hopefully let the sun melt the rest of the snow before we pull it into the garage. Oh, I'm tired. If you're new here, we picked up this 2015 Volvo V60 with only 112,000 miles for $1,250. And that's because the previous owner received an estimate from the dealership of about $7,000 to repair his entire vehicle. I set out the challenge to do it myself and hopefully way cheaper than the dealership would have charged. And in last episode, we already fixed up a few of the issues, but in this one, we're gonna completely finish up everything. And I wrote down everything it has cost us so far to fix up the Volvo, so we're gonna be able to compare how much the dealership was going to charge us versus how much we paid. And we're gonna be able to see, was the dealership trying to scam the previous owner, or was it just a really costly repair? I'm Macho, this is Macho Motors. Let's get into it. I did say that the dealership estimate was $7,000, which is correct, but the previous owner paid for about 1,000 or so of those repairs. So the total value is gonna be a little bit cheaper than what the previous owner was going to pay. That being said, here's what we've done so far in last video and how much we've saved already. So jumping straight into this board, we've already done only two of the repairs from last video, which I thought we did way more. It felt like we did way more. Starting with the torque rod, which we did in last video, the dealership tried to charge $275. We were able to do that, but before, only $30. And if we do some quick math right here, that means we saved a total of $245 by doing it ourselves. Also, last time we did the rear brakes, which the dealership was trying to charge $936. We were able to do it for just $72. $72. And if we do a little bit more complicated math, we are left with a saving of $864. I definitely didn't bring out my calculator for that. So now let's finish up the rest of this car so we figure out exactly how much we saved fixing up the entire car. And you guys know I like to jump into things starting with the easiest first, and the dealership was trying to charge the previous owner $619 to put in a brand new battery. Is it $619 worth of work? So let's find out. So we have the battery located right here. It does look a tiny bit more complicated because we have this cover here that we may have to remove somehow. Oh, that was easy. These two bolts and then new battery needs to go in. Oh, this is like kind of a mess to get out. So there's one hold down screw way down there that I'm missing, and that's why I'm struggling to get this battery out. It's such a heavy battery. They don't call me Macho for nothing. Old battery date code is November 2019, so almost 7 years old. So I think that's a pretty good lifespan out of one battery. But now we have the new battery going in. Okay. Almost in there. Just need a few more wiggles. I think everything is out of the way. It just doesn't want to fall down. Oh, spoke too soon. It took a little bit more struggling than I care to admit. We have the positive and negative put on. We have the hold down put in. Now it's time to just test to make sure she starts. I hear beeps and bops. Beautiful. Now, how much did we save? As you may already know, the dealership was trying to charge us $619 to change out the battery. We did this for only, oh, got a little smudge, $189, saving us a total of $430. Are you guys starting to see the pattern here? I may be speaking too soon, but stop taking your car to the dealership to get estimates, unless you're planning on selling it to me, because that's a huge plus for me. Moving on to the front brakes, we had this retaining screw holding onto the rotor. It was super seized on, so we had to spray a little bit of PB Blaster, use a little bit of heat, and it finally broke loose. Quick look at all the rust that was on the bolt. It is the next day. It got way too cold last night. The sun is shining bright into my eyes, so we have a slightly warmer day to work on the Volvo, but in usual Macho Motor fashion, macho. macho motor fashion, we ordered the wrong brakes for the front. So we're 0 for 3 right now. Wrong airbox, wrong rear brakes, wrong front brakes. So I ordered the correct ones. They should be here in 2 days, so we'll do that then. We're gonna leave this like this. While we're here, the invoice stated that it needed 2 front sway bar end links. To be completely honest with you, I don't see what's wrong with this side, but we already bought it and I'm pretty sure I can't return it. Might as well replace this while we're here. Hopefully we have the right parts for the job. So let's get to work. Darn, I was hoping it wouldn't spin. I had to give it some weight, but now this can easily pop out. No hammering required. And then along with the top one. Besides some very minor cracking going on in there, I don't think these were due for a replacement. Maybe just like a recommended service. I don't know. I bought them. Maybe the other side is worse. I will say these new ones though, it moves pretty much the same as the other one. We're gonna go in anyway. And I did check to make sure that these were the right parts because we're on a streak. This other one in there. I'm gonna call that there. Job well done. Here was the driver's side. As we saw, there's nothing crazy wrong with this one. Here is the brand new one, which looks nice and new and shiny. And then here was the passenger side one. Nothing crazy bad here, but here was our damaged portion. As you can see, the boot is torn and it's just very, very loose. Looks like we did end up needing a sway bar end link. The driver's side wasn't too bad, but you always replace these in pairs, so it looks like the dealership was right on this one. So let's finish up the sway bar end links. And just like that, both sides are complete. Now that we finished up the Stabilar end links, that was being charged $620. We only spent a total of $16 for this repair. $16 for both of them, saving us a whopping $604. This is the money train. This is the money train. This is going phenomenal. We also now have the correct, very beefy new front brakes, which should just fit perfectly on. Yes. All right, good. That's how it's supposed to look. All right, perfect. Super happy about that because now we can finish up all the brakes and finally be able to drive this thing because I haven't driven it in a while because I don't want to put back on the old brake. Starting with finding where I put the bolts. Now the freshly cleaned caliper bracket, got the caliper fully compressed. Now we got to go on with this brake pad that clips into the actual caliper, holding it in place, which are always so annoying. I haven't found a special trick to get this on easily. It's just kind of, you got to suffer until you get on there. If you know a way, please share with everybody in the comments down below. Plop it on there, go on with the whole assembly, just like that. Nice. We are making actual progress. Is I like to grease up the back and grease up the ends just a little bit to avoid it binding up. Another thing you want to grease up is always your guide pins. And last thing we need is this little retainer clip. Come on. Oh, good. Last thing I forgot are these 2 little dust covers for the guide pins. So just pop those on the back and then it's a job well done. And then of course the wheel. And pull out your jack stand. And then of course lower the car and clean up. And then you're done. And even though it was a little while ago, we finished up the front brakes. They were trying to charge us $899. We got all the parts for only $86, saving us a total of $813. $813 for the front brakes, $864 for the rear brakes. At this point, it just feels like we're printing money. I think the next step is to finish up the 120K service, and we're almost done with every issue wrong with the Volvo V60. So the first thing I did was call the dealership to make sure that we actually are doing everything involved with the 120K service. I have an estimate from you guys from a while back for a 120K service. I just wanted to know what is involved.
So the 120K service, it's your oil change, tire balance and rotation, cabin air filter, engine air filter, and you're gonna get spark plugs.
Thank you so much. And we've done a few things for the 120K service, but I wanna see it completed before we completely scratch that off of our list. Starting with the air filter, and I've noticed that the air filter is already loose, so maybe when he took it to the dealership and they checked it, they thought he was gonna do the service and just left it loose, which is Very bad. Don't do that. So it's still very loose back here. So we just have tons of Torx, and somebody replaced this Torx with a Phillips, which that's not right, but it's okay, I guess. Starting with loosening all these very tiny T25s. Well, they're already loose, but I guess loosening it up a little more. I think only one of them is holding it down. Yeah, I really think it's just the Phillips head holding it down. I didn't even loosen all the other ones, and it just came out. So let's take a look at this air filter, see if it was actually due for a replacement. And I would say that's a yes. We are due for a replacement. Not terrible, but she dirty. And unfortunately, it looks like we received the wrong part. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, so trapezoid, pentagon. I haven't been in geometry in a long time. So to avoid me feeling like a complete failure, I got the correct size air filter here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on and feel like I made some sort of progress today. That is a very tight fit for an air filter, but we got her done. All of the screws, except for the Phillips, is broken. So I believe I need to get a new airbox bottom, so that way the screws can tie onto something. But I have the new air filter on. It's just one of those days right now. And I think I'm packing up and just not be in the cold right now. Nothing is working out. I'm a little frustrated.
An eternity later.
All right, we got the phone cam out for this one because we are tackling the cabin air filter, and it's gonna get a little tight. Starting with moving the seat as far back as we possibly can, finding my 10 mil in the process. Cabin air filter is located right here somewhere, so we're gonna have to make some room. All right, I took off these 2 screws that were here, popped off this lower panel, which is supposed to hold this footwell light, but it's not right now. And now we can pull down the carpet slightly to be able to expose the door to the cabin air filter, which is right here. But first we need to remove this connector and this fuse box in order to get to the cabin air filter door. Connector removed, and I unclipped the fuse box. 1, 2, and 3 clips. Releasing the door. Is she dirty? Is she not? And I'm seeing all this dirt fly off of it, so I'm gonna say she's dirty. Oh God. Oh my God, so much dust just hit my face. Safe to say it was dirty. And it might even be original because it's Volvo. I have the cabin air filter somewhat in, and it's just slowly making its way inside. Oh, like so. Ooh, nice. Sorry for all the shaky angles. I'm doing my best in these tight spaces. Click, click, and click. Ooh, I think we have the fuse box in. I'm trying to pull out the fuse box. It's not coming out, so I'm gonna consider that in. Connector back on, carpet pushed back into place, and now we just need this bottom plate here, and then we're all done. Oh God, that's cramped. Everything put back together, new cabin air filter in, old crusty cabin air filter out. Now for the last service in the 120K service, the oil change. I've been dreading doing this because of all the snow. It is currently a beautiful 50 degrees outside. If I don't do it today, I'm probably not doing an oil change on this car. So let's get underneath the car and get to work. No, don't worry. I'm not trying to rob my own catalytic converter. I just washed my hair. I don't want it to get dirty again. To remove this 17 millimeter. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh God, this is so tight. That's what she said. All right, slightly bigger breaker bar. Somebody over torqued the crap out of this, so got my breaker bar on. Oh, come on. I jacked up the car just a little bit more to get more room. And the worst part about this, I'm pretty sure that the bolt, it is stripped a little bit. This might be really dumb, but I'm running out of ideas. Definitely stripping it. I was here for like 30 minutes, but we got it, boys. I want to show you what I did. I ended up getting my blowtorch, heating up this area here, not trying to get the bolt itself, so that way we don't soften it any further. I got a bolt extractor, a breaker bar, and I finally broke it loose. Some dark oil. Now we need a new drain plug, because I'm definitely not going back in with this one. Just got back from the parts store. We have a brand new drain plug for the Volvo. And the Volvo has an oil filter cap, which I was trying to find the oil filter cap socket for it, which is 85.5 millimeter. And nobody has it. So I'm gonna try my best to take it off If I can't, then I'm gonna have to order it online and wait a few days for that to come in to complete this job. Since we don't have the socket for the oil filter cap, we're gonna go in with an oil filter wrench, and hopefully that is enough leverage to take this off. Oh, I just broke this tool. How in the world do you, wow, I just broke it. That is crazy. Nice, congrats. You're winning, Volvo, you're winning. Back home, I was about to buy one oil filter wrench, but I don't think I'm gonna stop working on cars for a while, so I bought the whole set. So that way I never run into this issue again, and hopefully it'll be a worthy investment long term. We lost all our daylight, but we didn't lose our motivation, so let's finish up this oil change. Oil filter right here. Come on. Ugh. Did this thing just spin on me? Are you kidding me? Okay, try again. Are you kidding me right now? Who in the world did this oil change? Because brother, you don't have to extra ultra secure these things. All right, boys, I put a whole bunch of sandpaper, wrapped it around the oil filter, and I think, yep, she's coming loose. I don't know what's going on with this job. I think it's just a sign for me not to keep this car. Let's get our drain bucket ready. Take off the oil filter by hand. Oh, that's tons more oil. And here's what I'm referring to. I just stuffed a sandpaper between the socket and the oil filter, and I was able to get enough grip to pop this loose. Got a fresh new O-ring on the oil filter housing. Got the oil filter in. Just gotta tighten her back on. I'm gonna tear this just to make sure none of it gets inside. All right, new oil filter, new drain plug in. I made sure to torque down the drain plug to 3,000 Newton meters, just like I received. And down here is all done. I gotta clean that up first, but besides that, this is all done. Last thing to complete the oil change, we got 5.5 quarts of full synthetic 5W30 going in. Watch the pour. Watch the pour. Look at that pour. I think this is a new record. All right, I'm done. Oil's getting expensive now. Oil cap back on. Nice job, boys. So I keep on getting this warning that the oil level is low. And I'm like, it can't be because I just filled it up. But after looking back at the film, I only put in 3 quarts when I was supposed to put in closer to 6 quarts. Definitely gonna fix that now because I thought there was an issue with the oil level sensor or something. The dealership also mentioned that the car needed a coolant flush. I checked the coolant pretty while ago, and that is a very green, clean color. So I'm almost certain that it doesn't need a coolant flush. So to be honest with you guys, I think I'm gonna skip this service. I really don't think that the car needs it. I think maybe if the color was a little bit more pale or just like yellower or oranger, I would definitely do it. But in this case, I really don't think that the car needs it. I know they do sell coolant testers, but I just don't have one right now, so I can't really do that, but I'm pretty sure it's okay. With the coolant flush being $257, we did that puppy for $0 because we didn't do it. I think it was pretty much a scam in my opinion, so we ended up saving $257. And now jumping into the oil leak, that was a $373 just for the diagnosis. And boys, it is blank because I looked throughout the entire bottom of the car. I looked at the top of the car, and when we drained the oil, I put it into this container to check the measurement. And if you can see, we're right at around 5.7 quarts, which is exactly how much the Volvo V60 takes. That makes this another free fix, saving us $373. When I was reading about the oil leak, it was requested by the previous owner to check for any leaks because he thought there was some. I genuinely believe there isn't any because we've had the car for over a month now. The oil is still completely full from the previous oil change. Highly doubt that there is an oil leak at this time, and possibly the car could be burning oil, but if it is, it's super little because, like I said, the oil is still completely full. And now it is finally time for our most costly repair, the 120K service, which the dealership was trying to charge $1,535. And this cost us the most money at only $194, saving us a total of $1,341. And I'm sure you're curious to the total of how much everything would have cost. For the dealership, we were charged $5,514. Like I said previously, I didn't realize, but the previous owner did pay for some of the repairs already, unfortunately, because he could have saved a lot of money. And after we did all the repairs, we spent only $587 compared to the $5,514, saving us a total of $4,927. And just because we got the Volvo mechanically perfect, that doesn't mean that the car is perfect. If you were here for the first episode, which I highly recommend you check out, we found quite a few cosmetic issues and a few safety concerns with the car. And I'm sure you guys have been peeking in the background that I've already bought the doors. You guys need to stop peeking in the background for future videos. I don't have a big space to hide everything. But yes, we do have the doors to completely finish up the Volvo V60. I really hope that you stick around for next week's video and the final episode of the Volvo series where we finish up the car and flip it for profit. I appreciate you sticking till the end of the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Macho. This was Macho Motors. Catch you next time. Oh, the camera. Oh, no. I think I might have caught that, but everything has just fell into the garage floor. The entire hood just fell into the garage. That sucks. All right, I was trying to get the hood open and give you guys the satisfaction of opening it, but this unfortunately is the new satisfaction. This is from the hood of the car. A little extra satisfaction. That's always nice.